I just wanted to make sure that you're going to be making dinner for me every day now, right? We just had the wedding yesterday, and that now means starting today that you and I are to act just like proper husband and wife. As my wife, you are going to do everything and anything I need from you, right?
Well, you don't have to say it like that, Brody. I plan to be the same woman you ended up marrying, and let's do our best to support one another.
Huh? You're joking, right?
What do you mean? Did it sound like that was a joke to you?
You and I just got married, right? Which means things between us are going to be a lot different now than they were before. I shouldn't have to tell you that, right? You should already know what your job is now as my wife.
What? What things between us are supposed to have changed now besides you and I being married?
Oh, for crying out loud. Are you really begging for me to just flat out say what I mean to you? I guess you really don't have any idea what I'm talking about now, huh? I just told you that we got married and you are my wife now. Do you really think that means we will both be working together to support one another? Do you call yourself a wife when you speak like that about us?
Wait a second. I don't actually understand what's going on here. Are you trying to go on about who does what when it comes to chores now?
I'm not trying to tell you who's going to do what. And that's because you are going to do everything when it comes to the chores around the house.
Huh? What? You want me to do everything in the house?
You're the wife now. And that's part of what comes with being the wife, right? Or are you going to say you never knew anything about that? Did you really just get married to me without that kind of common sense?
What common sense are you talking about? This whole time you and I have been together, we've made sure that we're both equally doing the chores, right? It's been that way with everything, including the cooking.
Come on! Why are you trying to act like I do any of that now, lol? I'm not going to be cooking for myself for as long as you're my wife. You and I got married, so it's your job now to take care of me.
What was all of that then that we had before getting married? You and I were both working together to get cooking and cleaning done. What happened to that version of you, Brody? I assumed that since we've always been doing things like that, we'd continue to do so after marriage.
I'm shocked by this. It's actually pretty incredible that you lack the kind of common sense that women normally have, lol.
Are you trying to tell me that all along you just assumed after we got married that I'd be the only one responsible for the chores and cooking in this house? I don't get it. That's not at all fair to me, especially since we're both working full-time jobs right now.
What kind of fairness are we getting at here? Lol. This is how it's always been for married couples, and that just means you're going to have to put in more work. We both got things we have to do that aren't the same, and that's why it might seem like this is all unfair to you.
Well then, what do you have to do that I don't have to?
Work.
But I'm also working right now. That's the whole reason why you and I have been splitting the housework between us, right?
Well, I'm a male, which means I have a right to work. I don't have to worry about cleaning the house or making meals. Now that we got that clear, I expect there to be dinner ready for me when I get home today. And from now on, you are to speak to me with very polite English. Do you understand?
Would you hold on just a second? You are not the same Brody that I was dating just the other day. You're like a completely different person from him, and it's a bit scary. Is this not just some kind of joke right now? Are you really trying to tell me that this is the man you've been this whole time, Brody?
This is the real me. The only reason I wasn't acting like this before is because we weren't quite married yet. Now that you and I are married, though, I can go back to being the man I've always been.
I have zero clue what you mean. I can go ahead and make dinner for us tonight, all right? But let's talk about all of this again later, please.
What was that food? I know. I already said this once yesterday, but are you actually trying to piss me off right now?
In what way am I trying to piss you off, Brody?
Do you really think I wanted to eat something like that last night? Like, seriously? Do you really think you can call yourself a wife when you only cook up 2 things for me to eat?
I think you're just asking for too much food. I was a bit stressed by how you were acting all of yesterday, but it seems that same behavior is carried over into today.
Why did you only make up 2 different things to eat yesterday? That is not what I call dinner. I want you to make at least 5 different things for me each night for dinner.
5 different things? That's not going to happen when I also have to work every day.
You do realize I'm not asking you to do this for me. I'm telling you to. In other words, this is an order from me.
Huh? Are you going to try and force me into cooking that much for you now?
Hey, shut your mouth. I don't want you forgetting that you are my wife now, and you have new responsibilities. That also means you need to start talking to me more politely.
You really want me to be polite with you right now? Really?
You making me such a little to eat last night has really made me start thinking twice about you and what you're doing. I don't give a crap that you're working a job like me or not. I want 5 different foods cooked for me each night. Do you understand that? If you cannot do that for me, then I can no longer view you as my wife.
Wait, what the actual hell has gotten into you?
Be polite with me!
I'm sorry. What has happened to you, Brody? What you're asking for is impossible for me right now.
Are you going to try making up excuses now?
You're asking me to do the impossible right now, okay? I also have to work, and I also have to start doing all the chores myself, like you've said, right? Tell me, Brody, what are you going to do while I have to do all of that?
As the husband, I'll come back home to the house, lol. Then, once I'm back home, I'm going to enjoy myself. That's the whole reason I got married to you in the first place, Gia, lol.
Are you trying to tell me that the Brody I was with before getting married was just you putting on a facade and acting like you were going to work with me after getting married? You had also been talking about equal rights and everything for men and women as well. Was that all a lie?
Well, I wouldn't call all of that a lie. It just so happened that no matter the couple, after getting married, things will change between them.
So that's how this is going to be? So what you want from me is to just stay quiet and do everything you say? It hurts to see that you've changed so drastically from the man I cared for and loved. But I have no other choice now. I'll make sure to obey everything you ask of me.
Listen to me right now, Gia. Ever since we got married 2 days ago, you've gotten everything wrong. Do you want to be divorced over not being able to cook me 5 things for dinner? You are my wife now. My wife. And that means starting today, I want everything done right by you. Every night, there better be 5 different meals prepared for me to eat.
Understood.
You better not forget that, lol.
But there's just one condition with all of this.
Huh? What conditions are you going on about? Do you actually think that as my wife, you can give me conditions that I have to follow?
I do, actually. And this condition is very important to you, I believe. If you're really wanting me to make you 5 different foods a day for dinner, then you'll hear me out. My condition to you is that in return for having to cook so much, you are going to pay for all the groceries that I have to buy.
Huh? Why should I have to do that? Are you trying to say I need to pay you now?
For the longest time now, I've been the one paying for groceries. I didn't mind doing that for us because both you and I would cook. But from now on, you're not going to be cooking anymore, right? That means you need to start paying for the food you're wanting me to cook, or else there will be problems between us.
Well, I guess you had always paid for the food.
Also, you're the one that'll be eating way more than me every night, right? Having me be the only one to still pay for all of the food is just unfair to me.
You do realize that there's no way you can make a husband and wife relationship perfectly fair to both parties, right?
You want me to make 5 things for you each night, right? even though I'm working just as much as you are every day?
That's right. If you don't make what I want, then it's a divorce.
Well, if that's going to be the case, then please pay for the groceries. With just my salary, it'll start to get pretty tough for me. Especially when you count the fact that things are going up in price still.
I see. Then I suppose there's no other choice here. But if I'm going to be paying for all of the groceries, every single thing you cook me each day had better be what I want. You get that, right? If you even make just one mistake, things will not go so well for you.
I understand. I was just saying all of that in order to be able to do as you wish. Without you listening to me, I was never going to be able to cook you that much food. But now that we are aware of what each other wants, I can make you 5 things for dinner a day.
And it better not just be all vegetables either. I will not forgive you if that becomes the case.
You've always hated vegetables. But even with you having hated eating vegetables, you and I were always cooking vegetable-based foods to watch our health.
And I honestly hated having to eat all that crap with you. I hate foods like that which only an animal should be eating. And for a while, when we would cook all that vegetable garbage, I started to really think that your cooking was terrible, lol. From now on, make sure to study more meat-focused dishes so that you can actually please me for once.
Alright, but remember that I still have to work 8 hours a day here.
What was that? Excuse me?
That was nothing. I'll make sure to study up on some good dishes for you. I'll give some new recipes a try for you, and we'll see what all you really like. Goodbye now.
I want steak of all types on my plate every night, alright? Beef, pork, chicken, lamb.
And that's the reason why you need to make sure you give me enough money to afford all of that for you. As long as you keep the money coming, I'll make sure to keep the meat coming.
I have no other choice at this point. Just remember that if you can't make me happy, even with me paying for the food, then it's over for you and I.
Understood. I'll make sure that all of the food is cooked well enough to please you.
You sure will, lol. Had you just said something like that from the very start, then we would have not have had to waste all this time yapping. If you keep up that good attitude towards me, I'll make sure to keep on thinking of you as a decent wife, lol.
Alright then. Just make sure that each and every day you eat your dinner.
Have you made tonight's dinner yet?
Excuse me? What are you talking about? Of course I'm making your dinner right now, and it's pretty much finished and ready for you.
What did you end up making for me today? Really, you could add some more vegetables or something for today. Honestly, just a small amount of everything will be alright, as long as there's some green.
Don't you get too worried about that. I've already made everything up for you, and it will be waiting for you when you get home. Today, you are getting a huge plate of fried chicken, as well as some spaghetti. And let's not forget about the country-style omelet that I've made as well. Then we have some beef stew and pork cutlet to finish it all off. Your 5 dishes, all ready for you when you get home.
Just hearing you say all that to me has gotten my heart racing and my forehead sweating. Do you really think I'll be able to eat all that? Just stop it with all the cooking, please!
What? What are you talking about right now, Brody? What do you mean you want me to stop it with all this cooking?
I want you to stop making me so much food to eat every single night, please. I'm getting to the point now where I physically cannot eat the amount of food you are cooking for me. Have you not started to feel terrible eating that kind of food all the time?
I'm not really sure what you're going on about. You were the one commanding me to make all of this food for you every night, right? I made sure to do as you asked me to, and that meant each and every dinner would have 5 different foods prepared for you. It was you asking me to do all of this cooking for you and to make sure there was plenty of meat each time. So what exactly is the problem here?
Have you seen how I've been looking?
What? Well, I suppose you are a bit more chubby than before. But is that really what all of this is about?
My body is getting massive from all the food I keep eating, alright? I'm asking you to please stop making all of that crap for me to eat. How many pounds do you think I've gained in this past month? I've gone up 40 pounds, Gia! 40 pounds!
40 pounds? That really is a lot of fat you've put on them, Brody. Are you trying to become a sumo wrestler or something now?
Don't you make fun of me! Are you trying to make me feel bad about all of this? You shouldn't even be saying anything about how I look when this is all due to your cooking. If you keep feeding me like that, then I'm going to have a heart attack or something.
Well, then why didn't you just stop eating so much when I cooked dinner? All I was doing was cooking your 5 different foods a day for you, since that's what you had asked from me. Are you really going to start complaining about something you told me to do and then blame it all on me? Do you even plan on taking responsibility for what you told me?
Listen, Gia, have you been making me such garbage food this whole time with the intent of making me fat? I shouldn't be this fat after eating what you've been cooking me if it had just been normal food. What the hell are you trying to do to me?
What I've been trying to do is do as you say. And you said not to cook you a lot of vegetables and to make sure there was lots and lots of meat. Don't you feel a little dumb for complaining about the thing you had been saying for me to do?
Who are you calling dumb? I knew this is what you were trying to do. You went along with what I had asked you in order to fatten me up and then have a reason to make fun of me.
Well, I'll leave that one up to your imagination, Brody. But how about you just think of all this clearly? All I did was cook the types of food you wanted from me and the amounts you wanted from me. And after cooking what you wanted, you had the choice of eating it all, like you have been, or just eating the things you could handle, like you should have been. Also, do you really think it's healthy for someone to gain that kind of weight in 1 month? Had you just been watching how much you ate every night, then you wouldn't be looking like a deflated balloon. No matter how you look at this right now, blaming me for you becoming fat is not at all right.
I knew it! You did all of this on purpose! I knew something like this was going to be true, but just hearing from you that you wanted to make me fat hurts. Why the hell would you do this to me? Right now, I'm not even able to fit into any of my clothing, especially my suits. Do you not realize how much trouble you've just caused me by making me this huge?
Trouble? All you've done is caused yourself those troubles, all right? I didn't do anything that forced you to eat all of that food. You have to understand that just like I do, right?
I'm not going to forgive you for this. The fact that you fatten me up like this.
Are you even listening to yourself right now? You were the one that asked me to make all of that food up for our dinner every night, and so I did just that to avoid worse outcomes. I've even been eating the same foods as you, and look at me. I'm not any fatter than I was a month ago. I've just been making sure that I eat the amount I need to and no more.
Are you trying to say it's my fault that I'm fat now? No matter how one looks at it, you've been the one forcing me to eat all of your food. Isn't it supposed to be your job as my wife to make sure I don't get this huge? To maintain my health?
What? You're an adult, right? I don't remember you ever still being a child. If you really are the adult you want to make me believe you are, then you should be able to watch your weight yourself.
You're my wife, and watching my health is your job, your responsibility.
Ugh, you really seem to be just full of complaints now. I mean, you were paying for all that food, so you knew I was buying a lot for you. And you even went ahead and ate all of it, even when it started to hurt. And all of this started because you said that 2 things for dinner wasn't enough for you and that you wanted more. So I did what I was told to and started cooking 5 unhealthy things for you every day. So cut it out with all those complaints and just shut up.
Why are you talking to me like that?
Because I'm tired of listening to you go on and on about crap that is only your fault, nobody else's. If you're going to keep complaining like that, I am seriously going to stop listening to you for good. You were the one that commanded me to do all of this, right?
If you don't stop talking to me with that attitude right now, I'm going to get pissed.
Go ahead and get pissed off with me then. I'm already past my limits with you and am no longer holding back.
What was that?
By the way, when it comes to the cost of all the food, do you know how much it cost for just this month's groceries alone?
What?
I feel that your income this month has all gone right into paying for groceries.
Huh? What?
In order to keep you happy with me and to not piss you off, I've been making sure to buy you all the best ingredients and meat. And you went ahead and ate all that cooking, which was costing you more than just eating out. With that, you went ahead and spent over $2,000 in food this month alone.
Huh? You're joking, right? You quit it right now with all this crap.
I'm not trying to kid you about anything, though, Brody. I've been getting all that money from your account this whole time, so you can tell it's been costing you a lot. You had days where you wanted Wagyu from Japan. Other days, you wanted me to go out and get you the most expensive gelato. You were always asking me for all these really expensive foods, and there was no way I could say no to any of it.
I'm sure I was asking for a lot of higher-priced foods. But who the hell told you it was actually okay to spend that much money on food this month?
Okay, go ahead and tell me how much you said for me to spend each month on food then. Go ahead and tell me how much. I can't wait. Oh, that's right. You never gave me a price limit, did you? So this must mean that you blaming me for all your mistakes is misplaced blame. You were the one that asked for all of that to happen, and I obeyed. You should be thanking me now for going and doing every little thing you asked.
I have no reason to be thanking you for anything. How much longer are you going to pick on me like that before you're satisfied? I'm not going to let you get away with any of that anymore. If you do anything else without my permission from here on, or you make fun of me like that anymore, it's going to be a divorce. Do you want to be divorced by me? If you're troubled by hearing that from me, then you will show me right now that you understand.
I have no reason to understand you anymore, you fat cow.
What?
It's too late for you to get all upset with me and start threatening me with a divorce. The last time you and I fought, you threatened me by filling out and signing our divorce papers, right? Well, I went ahead and handed them in for us.
Huh? You handed those divorce papers in? What the hell are you talking about? There's no way you can just hand those in without my permission.
What? Why can't I?
What do you mean, why can't you? You and I are a married couple. Husband and wife, right? I just got those papers together and filled out in case I needed to scare you into submission some more. You should not just hand those in for real without asking me if it's okay first.
I don't need you telling me if it's okay or not. Nice try with scaring me into submission like that, you dumb bastard.
Wait, Gia! Why do you keep calling me such terrible names like that? That is not at all the way you should be talking to or about your husband, right?
I have had it with you, Brody. You're just a selfish, self-centered, fat-bodied bastard. I've already handed in the divorce paperwork for us, so now all you are to me is a complete stranger. Isn't this just great? You were finally able to get divorced from such a useless wife like me. But understand that you can no longer blame me for anything now. We're divorced now, and all your troubles and problems are your own.
Wait a second, please, Gia! Are you being serious about the two of us no longer being married? I never actually wanted for us to be divorced, though!
Well, even if that wasn't what your plan was with me, to me, you no longer wanted me around you, and that meant divorce. There really is nothing else for us to talk about now, right?
Wait, just a little bit more. We're not divorced. I didn't do anything wrong to deserve something like that. Tell me what I did wrong.
You did everything wrong, my guy. Being married to you was a real miss on my part, I suppose. Right now, I don't even want to see your fat face anymore. So now, would you please just go away forever?
Gia, wait, please.
I think it really is a good idea to stop begging me to wait and get a hold of yourself instead. Now you go ahead and enjoy your diet of meats and carbs, and I hope you end up on one of those major weight loss channels really soon. Although you're going to have to cook all that yourself, because I'm not sticking around to cook you any more grease. After that, Brody tried with all his might to get Gia to listen to him and come back, but Gia wasn't having any of it and completely ignored him. Not only did Gia tell the fatty to get lost, though, but at work, everyone began to realize just how fat he was and started to side-eye him all the time. He's no longer respected by anyone within the office or outside of it, and will have to try really hard to gain anyone's respect back. But before he can do that, he might want to start with changing his whole diet so that he has the energy to move around again.
Hey, Mom, are you there? I just really wanted to say that we were really grateful for you making it to our wedding. I'm really sorry that we hardly had any time to talk about anything at the wedding itself. It was one of the best, most happiest days of my entire life, and it still all feels like such a blur when I stop to think about it.
Oh, Max, you have no idea how proud I was just to see you standing up at the altar. I know how busy you were the whole day. It took me back to when I got married, too, but don't you worry about not talking to me more. I know how much you must have had on your mind, son. For the record, though, I thought the wedding was just fantastic and really lovely. I was so happy that I could be there for you.
It really makes me so happy to hear you say those things, Mom. Thank you again so much. I also just wanted to let you know that I was going to take off some time next month from work so that I could visit home and we can spend more time together.
Oh, Max, you don't have to go and do something like that just for me, you know. I mean, you've just gotten married. I'm sure that you're still so busy. Not to mention the fact that you probably want to spend more time with Laura, don't you? I wouldn't mind at all if you went and spent some time with her and her family before you took the time to come and talk with me.
But, Mom, your birthday is coming up soon. Do you really think that I would ever want to miss something like that? It's no trouble at all.
You even remembered my birthday? Oh, I'm just amazed at how lucky I am to have you as a son sometimes. Thank you so much for saying something. Even I sometimes forget when my birthday is even. I pay so little attention to it.
Well, you know that I would never forget something as important as my mom's birthday. I mean, I do always help you celebrate every single year, don't I? Normally, Toby and I are always sending out a birthday card that we both signed. But I think this year you're going to be getting one from Laura and I instead.
You know that you really don't have to go and send me something. I know that you remember my birthday, and that's enough for me. Besides, I'm already so old and have had enough birthdays. You don't need to worry about an old lady like me.
Don't be silly, Mom. You're my mother. And I want to let you know just how grateful I am to have you in my life. I mean, you raised Toby and I as a single mother. And now that I'm an adult, I can really start to realize just how difficult that must have been. But I want you to know that I'll never ever forget what you did for us in the family, and that I'll always be there for you.
Max, I really am just so proud of you, son. Thank you so much. But I also want you to know that I hope you don't think you have to do this to be a good son to me. I want you to know that the best thing you could do for me is to live a long and happy life with a family of your own. That's all I've ever wanted for you.
Well, don't go talking as if you're not long for this world either. You still have plenty of years ahead, and I plan on doing all that I can to make them fulfilling for you. And so you better look forward to your birthday this year, okay? I'm not sure if I'll actually be able to see you on the day since it's a weekday, but I will see you soon after that, and we'll go out and celebrate then.
Please, Max, I am telling you that you really don't have to go through the trouble just for me. You just worry about finding enough time in your schedule for me, but don't go forcing yourself to make a visit to me if it's too difficult. You're married with a wife now, and you need to make sure that you're spending enough time with her as well, okay? I know that I'm your family too, but you have responsibilities, and I won't be the reason why you step away from them.
Okay, Mom, you're right. And I really appreciate you always giving me good advice like that, by the way. Anyways, you'll be hearing from me soon, okay? Looking forward to seeing you when I do.
I'll look forward to it, but just don't push yourself too much. I know that you're busy with your job, so make sure you're focusing on that as well. And don't forget that you're married now, too. You can't just be working overtime all the time now. You have to spend some time with your new wife.
Oh, I think that Laura's going to be just okay now with how things are, actually. She's wanted to be a housewife for a while now, and I think she's happy to have her chance. If I'm being honest, She still has a long way to go in terms of being able to actually take care of the house well, but I know that she's trying, and that's all that matters to me. The only thing is that she doesn't quite seem to have budgeting and now how to spend smartly down just yet, but we're working on it.
Well, if that's the case, then make sure that you spend enough time with Laura so that you two can communicate about that, okay? Even if you've known the person for a long time, marrying them can still present a lot of new changes and challenges, and it's important to approach those as a couple. So if you're having money problems, make sure that you're patient enough with Laura to explain to her what you want in a way that she can understand and contribute to as well, okay?
Of course, Mom, and I really appreciate your input. Those are all important things to keep in mind when moving ahead. I don't think we've really gotten upset with each other about it yet, but I'll remember to keep a cool head. I think we just need to talk about some spending habits is all.
Well, that makes sense. Just remember that you two have never lived together before, right? So before, you really only had to worry about earning and spending for yourself, but now that you're a family, there's the two of you plus the future to think about. She might just need some time to adjust to all of this.
You're absolutely right, Mom. This is all really good advice for me, and I won't let it go to waste. Thanks so much for listening to my problems and for giving your input. I'll be talking to Laura about all that you said here.
That's my boy. I'm sure that you two will be just fine, okay? Now, you go and have a nice rest of your night.
Hi there, Mom. I'm just messaging you right now to wish you a very happy birthday. I'm sorry that I'm sending this message so late, but I had a rushed morning and then was at work for a long time. I just got out of the office now, so that's why I'm sending the message at this time. By the way, did the birthday package from Laura and I arrive at your house?
Yes, it did arrive.
Oh, that's just great to hear. I'm so happy it got there on your birthday. I was worried that it wasn't going to make it on time. And then I was thinking all day about whether or not it had arrived since I hadn't heard anything from you.
Well, I have to say, I was quite surprised at what was inside when I opened it up.
You're kidding me. Did we really surprise you? And here I thought we were getting you something that you'd been wanting for a long time. By the way, don't worry about the price at all. I know it might be a bit shocking, but it's your birthday, and we just wanted to give back to you.
Oh yes, the price. That was another thing about your gift that just really shocked me.
Really? I didn't think you'd be that thrown off by her gift. We just had our wedding, so we had some extra money to use, and I wanted to make sure you knew how much you mean to me. Consider the gift a way of saying thank you for all the hard work that you've done in raising Toby and I. I know how hard your life must have been and how we probably didn't make it easier on you most days. So I just really wanted you to get that gift and know how I felt.
And so that's all the meaning behind this old moldy slice of cake that you've sent me?
Wait, what? What do you mean, moldy slice of cake?
I mean, that's why I was so surprised. Everything arrived in this great big box and I was a bit confused. But then I opened up the lovely pack and inside was a piece of moldy, stinky birthday cake. I have no idea just where you even got a cake like that. And the letter that came with it basically said something to the effect of you never wanted to talk to me ever again. That's why I was so shocked. I actually cried for the first time in I don't know how long because of what you sent me.
Wait, what? I don't understand. What do you mean? Did you really get that in the mail? You thought that we sent you that?
What are you talking about? It has your name on the return address. How could you do this to me, Max? How could you do this to your own mother on her birthday? I thought that I raised you better than this. We had such a lovely conversation the other day, and this is how you show your gratitude? I just don't even know what to say.
Wait, no, there has to be some kind of mistake here. This isn't right.
What mistake could there be? You've made what you want to say to me very clear with your gift and letter. What else did I miss?
I mean that I didn't send you a rotten piece of cake or write that letter. Something is going on here. I would never in a million years send you something like that. I did send you a dessert, but it was a fresh piece of cake from a nice bakery. And the other gift we sent you was a really pretty watch that we shelled out a lot for. I remember that you're always talking about losing track of time and that the strap on your old watch was falling apart. So I wanted to give you a new one that looks really nice.
Well, I didn't get any kind of watch or cake. I just got all this. What is going on here?
I have no idea, but I promise to you that I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Unless I think I might know.
Hey, Laura, are you there? I really need to ask you something about the gift that you and Max sent me the other day. Did you by chance happen to send me a really old piece of cake? I mean, like, rotten and moldy old.
Oh no, did my little secret finally slip out? I was wondering when you were going to find out, but I just wanted to make sure that you knew how Max and I really felt about you, so I made some changes to your gift.
What is the matter with you? Is this supposed to be some kind of sick prank or something like that?
I just wanted to let you know how sick we are of you always interfering in our lives, Mary.
You mean that you really did this on purpose?
Of course I did. You think a mistake like that would ever really happen? Of course I sent you all of that on purpose.
I don't know what to say to that. Here I was just trying to confirm with you about what happened, but I had no idea that you disliked me so much.
Of course I dislike you. I hate you, in fact. Just why do you think you'd be worthy of getting such an expensive present, huh? I was so shocked and disgusted when Max told me what he was getting for you. I can't believe he spent so much money.
You know, I had no idea at all what it was that he was going to send me in the first place. And when I told Max just what had come in the mail, he was shocked to hear what I had told him as well. Even after we were on the same page, he was sure that there was some kind of mistake that had happened.
Well, there was no mistake about it at all. I just plain hate you, and that's why I sent you what I did. So I hope you enjoyed your birthday cake. And I hope you got the message. He and I want nothing to do with you ever again as long as we live. Do you understand?
So then you admit you were the one that switched out my real birthday gift with an old moldy piece of birthday cake? How could you do that to someone, even if you do dislike them? And I know for a fact that my son knew nothing about this at all, so the only one who has a problem with me is you. Isn't that right?
It's true. Max had no idea about any of this, but even he went way too far buying you such an expensive gift. What was he thinking with that? A watch like that would look way too fancy on a poor little nobody like you. So I took the watch that he gave you and I sold it online to make myself back some of our money that Max wasted on you.
You have got to be kidding me. You mean that you took the present that Max bought for me and you just turned around and sold it? I'm afraid that you are not the person that I thought you were at all. I had no idea you were capable of doing such horrible things.
Aw, are you mad because you'll have to keep using your crappy little watch? You think I care at all about how you feel? Get real. I don't care how upset you are now that you know just how much I really hate you. I never want you to bother Max and I ever again, as long as you live. Do you understand me? And I never want Max to waste another cent on a no-good lost cause like you.
I have no idea what you're talking about at all. Why is it any concern of yours if Max chooses to use his own money to buy me something nice?
It matters because we're married now, and that means that his money is also mine. And I'm not going to see my money wasted on a parasite like you. I also want you to know that when you're all old and gray, Max and I aren't going to do anything to take care of you. You'll be on your own forever.
So you're telling me that you just want me to disappear from my own son's life? Do you really think that it's even that simple? I mean, I'm his mother, for crying out loud. You think I can just up and disappear without a trace? Get real.
Well, it's exactly what I expect you to do. If you have any complaints about it, you can save it. One of the whole reasons why I married Max in the first place was because I could tell that he was going to be making a ton of money in the future. But now that I'm married to him, I realize that he has you sucking up all of his money the moment he even makes any. You're nothing but a vampire.
You really think that I need my son's money to survive? You have no idea what you're talking about at all. But I have had just about enough of all this rudeness from you. Just where do you get off talking to your mother-in-law like this?
You think I care at all what some single mother has to say to me? You're a nobody. If you were somebody, then you wouldn't have been left all alone to raise 2 children on your own. It's already clear that you're not somebody worth having around and never will be. The next chance I get, I'm going to erase your number from Max's phone. So don't go telling him anything about this conversation or else I am going to make things so much worse for you. Do you understand me?
I have no idea why you're so set on trying to get me out of the picture anyways. I mean, just what did I even do to you to make you act this way? If you're really so concerned about the money, then I can just talk to Max and tell him to not buy me any more gifts.
You say that now, but who knows in the future when you'll really need money for all your elderly expenses. We won't give you a cent, got it? All that money is mine. Do you hear me? It's all mine.
So the only reason that you even married my son in the first place was for his money? Is that really what you're telling me right now?
Of course that's the main reason why I married him. What other reason would I have to marry Max, huh? Why else does anyone marry anyone if not for the money, huh?
I understand that may be something people consider before they get married, but that shouldn't be the main reason why you marry someone. And this is my son that we're talking about. Do you really think that you can get away with talking about him like this?
I don't care at all what you say, because I know that I can make Max do whatever I want. I've come this far in marrying him for his money, and my only mistake was forgetting that you were here. So why don't you just take the message that I sent you and leave us alone forever?
You really are just terrible, you know that? How could you marry my son and then try to cut him off from the rest of his family? You have no respect for anyone, and you're one of the most selfish people that I've ever met. There is not a single thing that I can respect you for.
I already told you that I don't care at all what you think. The best thing that you can do right now if you want to save yourself a world of pain is just disappear forever. Then I can finally rest easy knowing that the person using up all my precious money will finally be out of my life. I want to be a housewife, but I don't want to be a nurse, and I will never, ever take care of my mother-in-law in the future.
And just who even asked you to do something like that for me in the first place?
Nobody yet, but I'm not stupid. I know that housewives get asked to take care of their mothers-in-law all the time when she gets old. This is all part of my plan to set up my perfect life now so that I don't have to worry about how to deal with you in the future. If I can get rid of you now, then we won't have to think about you down the road.
Laura, I am only 50 years old, and it's going to be a long, long time before I need any kind of nursing. Do you realize that? Besides, I do have Max's brother and other family that I can call on if it's really such an upsetting concept for you.
Wait, what? You mean you're fine just asking your family for help instead of me? Well, I guess I just never thought of that.
But now I see that you were only ever marrying my son for his money. You've really left me with no other choice but to go to him and tell him all about what you've told me.
Wait, what? No, you can't do that. You can't just share this private conversation with him.
Actually, I can, and I've already taken screenshots of you saying that you could control him however you saw fit. So I am sure that you will be hearing from him soon, asking to talk to you.
Hold on, no, wait, this is all just a joke. The cake was just a funny prank, I swear.
Just who are you trying to fool with that? And it really is such a shame, too, given that you and Max just got married. Oh well, better that this all ends now before it went any further, if you ask me. In the end, I talked to Max and showed him the kinds of messages that Laura was sending me. He was shocked to see such words being sent from his own wife. When he tried talking to Laura about it, she tried making up some lie to tell him, but he could see right through her. They got into a big fight, and finally Max demanded that they get a divorce. In the alimony talks, Max made sure that Laura would have to pay for the watch that she sold online, and he used the money to buy me a second watch.